Hey guys, I made it back. We have got the third video this week. Yay! So where to start? I'm going to start with telling you that at the weekend just gone, I was up in London out with my husband and my best friend, and we went to one of these escape experiences, and it was a Saw, in time for like Halloween. A Saw escape room. Sounds absolutely horrific, but it was fun. But whilst I was up in London, I had the opportunity of meeting with a YouTuber, a fellow YouTuber that some of you already follow, and that is Sue Smith, who was visiting the UK on holiday with her husband. I also got to meet briefly, albeit, with Steph the Alter Nerd, another YouTuber, and she also works on Popcorn Palace and Popcorn Planet with Andy. So that was quite a bit of a fun, although very, very quick experience meeting people. It's nice to meet other YouTubers. I hope to meet up with Steph again in the future where we can actually hang out and spend longer than 5 minutes with each other. But yeah, it was kind of fun. Wednesday night, which is, what day is it? See, I lose track of what day it is. Wednesday night, we went to see Simon Reeve. I've wanted to see him for absolutely forever with my husband. We watch all of his travel documentary shows. And unlike some people, he talks about obviously trying to make sure that we do not destroy the planet, that we save animal species, but he actually actively encourages people to travel. He wants people to travel to places all around the world, but maybe try and go places that are a little bit off grid, where your money can make a difference to so many people's lives. So I'm going to blame him for the fact that we have just booked a holiday going to Kenya. So it doesn't take a lot of excuses to think to yourself, right, okay, can we book a holiday? And yeah, so going to Kenya next year, which does follow on to one of the stories that I am going to talk about now. And that is the King and Queen are leaving this weekend to go to Kenya. It will be their first overseas visit to a Commonwealth country, and it will be the fourth trip that King Charles has actually made to that country. The visit comes just when Kenya is celebrating 60 years of independence from Britain, which is in December. They have been invited by the Kenyan President William Ruto and will stay for 5 days, attending various engagements and events. And of course, now that I know I'm going to Kenya with my husband, I'm even more excited to cover all of the details. Kenya was also a very integral part of the story of Queen Elizabeth II's accession, because she was staying there. She was staying at the Treetops Hotel when she learnt of her father's death. She arrived in Kenya as a princess and left as a queen at the very young age of just 25. And she obviously became our longest reigning monarch in history. On Tuesday this week, the King and Queen had held a reception at Buckingham Palace, which was celebrating the special relationship between Kenya and the UK. There was a huge display laid out from the royal collection, which featured a copy of Prince Philip's speech that he made upon the independence of Kenya in 1963. And there was also a photograph which captured the King's interest, and it was a photograph of the Treetop Hotel where his mother was staying when she learnt the news of her father, his grandfather, passing away, which sadly did close in 2021. Now, the King and Queen aren't the only ones that are super busy in the coming week, and that is Prince William. It's almost here. It's not quite here, but I'm super excited. And that is the Earthshot Prize, which this year is going to be held in Singapore. The Prince will be there from Sunday the 5th to Wednesday the 8th, and he will be attending various events, meeting people, businesses, organisations and investors to promote the winners and the finalists of last year's and, of course, this year's Earthshot Prize. I'm really excited because I can't wait to see the coverage of the Garden City in Singapore. It's on our bucket list of places to visit. It looks incredible. I love the fact that they have wild otters all in the rivers that are surrounding the city, and they are protected. It's one of those things that it would tick every single box that I think my husband and I have when we go on holiday. During Prince William's visit, he will also be taking part in dragon boating, which is a very well-known sport in Singapore, and he will be meeting with local organisations to learn about how they tackle illegal wildlife trading and how they protect the rainforest. With Singapore being the greenest city in the world, where the airport looks like it is a day trip out by itself, I think it is the best place that he can possibly ever hold the Earthshot Prize, and I'm really excited to be covering it. Now, following on from the Earthshot Prize from last year, one of the winners, a company called Nopla, they have created packaging as an alternative to plastic. And Prince William has been using his position as president of the Football Association to push this into the football stadiums. So far, he's got Aston Villa and Coventry City who are using the products on their food vans. Then you've got Tottenham and Arsenal who are trialing it at present before they make it permanent. And then once you get them to sign up to it, then I'm sure it will then be pushed around all of the stadiums. It makes no difference to people going into the stadium that are still ordering their hot dog and their burger, but it just means that the packaging that it comes in is 100% biodegradable rather than shipped off to landfill sites that's left there rotting for centuries. But with the plastic packaging then becoming made out of seaweed and it's biodegradable, it will have a much less devastating impact on our wildlife, on our oceans. So I am totally on board with Nopla. So if you're thinking about investing in a company anytime soon, I think seaweed might be the way forward. So what with Prince William's Earthshot Prize almost here and the King and Queen announcing that they are going on their first tour to a Commonwealth country and it being Kenya, obviously the news is building up. It's going to be a very exciting time for the royal family. And Harry and Meghan have not had great news. As I said in yesterday's video, they have been immortalised now as lazy grifters that do absolutely nothing and people have no clue what they get paid for. Well, obviously they're feeling a little bit butthurt and I think that they have somehow retaliated because we have had another attack on the royal family. Yes, you cannot believe it, from yesterday's video where I was trying to say to you guys, do not worry, it's not going to happen anytime soon because Harry and Meghan haven't quite stopped attacking the royal family. Less than 24 hours later, boom, we have got another grenade being launched from Montecito. Now, this particular grenade has been launched before, but they've decided to add an extra twist to it. So what, pray tell, what drama is this about? Well, this is about when the king cut off his second oldest son, who was about 35, 36 years old, pocket money. Yes, I kid you not. The whining prince is back and he has added a bit more drama to the story of how they were cruelly cut off from money despite being multi-millionaires, despite Princess Diana upon her death and the Queen Mother leaving Harry a significant sum of money between 20 and 30 million, and with good investments that boy is quite clearly very, very rich in himself. But the cruelty of the royal family left them without a penny and he was forced to dip into the money that his mummy left him. This is unbelievable the first time round that we heard it, but the fact that after everything that's happened, they now believe that they're going to have a different reaction from the public. The outpouring already is everyone getting out their mini violins and people really don't care. Again, with everything that's happening in the world, everything that we are seeing across the news, Harry is still trying to get the public on side at this heinous crime that his father committed. The drama llamas are back just in time for the weekend. So the news came out today. I saw it on ITV and you never guess who the anchorman was. Tom Bradby. What are the chances? This is Tom Bradby that helped them do their documentary when they were first lining up their attacks of the cruelty that Meghan suffered at the hands of the evil royal family when they were in South Africa. Then Tom Bradby had the special where he got a little bit of karma, where Harry made him look awkward when he said, "I've never called my family racist, nor has my wife. Tom, where did you hear us say that?" You saw Tom sweating. Like, well, Oprah, did you hear me say that, Tom? You could see him like, yes, everybody saw you say it, Harry. Everybody's seen you say it on Netflix. Everybody has seen and heard you saying it was about race, it was about racism, and the fact that you never denied that there was a royal racist in your family. So yes, I think you covered the basis that someone in your family is racist, and because you wouldn't say which one, they were all blanketed. So Harry's latest turn of events that he felt that he now possibly needed to speak out on, just in time, as I said, for Earthshot and Kenya, he said that the royal family, well, of course, King Charles, cut him off because Harry refused to take out a royal aide's name from one of his court cases that he had filed against the Sun newspaper. The royal family apparently said to Harry, "You need to take that aide's name out of this court case because there is no evidence against this person. They have denied it and always denied it from day one." Harry accused them of leaking stories to the media, to the press, and one of the stories even being when Megxit was announced. For those of you that need a bit of a refresher, Harry and Meghan gave the royal family 10 minutes notice before they went out in front of the world and declared that they were leaving the royal family. They had not discussed it. They had not told the Queen. They had not told William. They had not told Charles. They gave the royal family 10 minutes notice. And the only reason why they got 10 minutes notice is because the story was leaked to the palace. Now, Harry is blaming a royal aide. Again, make it make sense. There's no evidence to this. But more importantly, the half-wit, and I will call him a half-wit in this instance, because surely Harry by now can think, oh, when I got with Meghan, stories started leaking. In fact, it's been a continuous leaking tap since I met my wife. Every single detail, every story, everything from friends to family members, all of a sudden are just getting leaked by someone. Harry's always blaming it's staff, it was a family member, it's Queen Camilla. He just can't put two and two together, can he? Meghan would benefit from this being leaked, because if Harry had gone to his family and said, look, we're not happy, we're going to leave, the royal family could have maybe talked some sense to him, reasoned with him. Meghan had to fire that gun before there was an opportunity for anyone to talk Harry out of leaving. She needed to get her prize across to the United States. So, as I said, my gut feeling is telling me that Meghan is in fact the leak. Meghan is the mole. But that doesn't stop Harry from blaming people. Again, like all of his court cases, he's got no evidence. It's how he felt or who he felt that did such an awful thing to them. Again, not quite thinking, why would the royal family want the press to find out before they've had a chance to put damage control in place? They wouldn't. But where Harry has made this so much more dramatic, and again highlighting the evil royal family, he said that they were cut adrift financially and left unable to protect themselves despite having a security threat level equal to the monarch, right? First of all, Harry is saying that he and Meghan had the same security threat as the future king. Oh dear, the levels of self-importance are out of control. But regardless, they were members of the royal family. He was still the future monarch's son. So I'm not saying there wasn't a threat level, but it's the way it's so dramatised. But it gets better. He basically says that the royal family deliberately cut them adrift with no notice to put their lives in danger. The reason being, the royal family thought if they put their lives in danger, Harry and Meghan would have absolutely no other choice than returning to the royal fold for their safety. And that is where the royals could then control their profile, and I quote this last bit, where their profile could be controlled, preventing them from eclipsing the future king, right? So Harry is saying Daddy cut off his pocket money to deliberately put his and Meghan and Archie's life in danger so that they could be forced to come back, right? It sounds like an episode of EastEnders. Forced to come back into the royal fold, and they would then be controlled so they never eclipsed the king, the future king. I mean, first of all, it was the jealousy of William and Catherine. Now it's the king and Queen Camilla. Everybody was jealous of Meghan because of her star quality, that they endangered their lives on purpose so they could be controlled and they wouldn't eclipse the rest of the royals. I mean, this is delusional. It's not just delusional, it's hilarious. For anyone that thinks that Charles is going to be opening his arms and welcoming back his second son, the attacks are relentless, they are endless. And the worst thing is, they are crazy. How can he honestly think that? How can he honestly think that that's truly why that all happened? They quit. This was their decision. They wanted to go earn their own money and their own way in life. And that's why eventually the king decided that they were on their own 2 feet. It's what they wanted. They'd signed to all these multi-million-pound contracts, 100 million here, 20, 30 million here, that he could stop paying for their lifestyle. The king had never intended to pay for their lifestyle, but that's what Harry and Meghan expected of the Queen. They wanted to be half in, half out. They wanted to make themselves millionaires or billionaires in Meghan's mind and still have all of the perks of being completely paid for by the royal family and in turn, of course, by the taxpayer. They didn't want to have to pay for security. They wanted the UK taxpayers to still pay for their Scotland Yard security whilst they were out procuring money and living in the United States. The delusions are real from this couple. So yes, I hope this further affirms with you guys that there is no chance that they are coming back into the royal fold anytime soon. I can only think that Harry has kicked up this little dummy throw-in moment again, because obviously we're just about to have lots of positive coverage with the King going to Kenya with Queen Camilla. Then of course you've got Prince William with the Earthshot Prize in Singapore, so that's obviously gaining a lot of media coverage in the build up to it. So naturally Harry and Meghan, they have to try and get some headlines away from the royals because their jealousy always shines on through, or Charles hasn't given in to their latest demands. It's pretty obvious, as I said, with Harry trying to come over, and he wanted an apartment in Kensington. He's still fighting to get his security. I think that they've just been told no again behind the scenes, or the King's refusing to speak to him still. So Harry's gone, right, that's it, release the hounds. What else have we got in our arsenal? Well, we've got nothing. We've said everything. We've done everything about 20 times over. I know, why don't we release the same story but rehash it slightly and make it sound even worse? The royal family cut off my pocket money to endanger the life of myself, my wife and my young child so that they could control us. Honestly, do they really think that the world is that stupid? Well, we know the answer. Now, while we're having a laugh yet again at their expense, let's talk about Spotify again. Now, don't worry, I'm not rehashing the old story. We know that they ditched them, that they labelled them lazy effing grifters because, well, let's be honest, they got given one of the biggest payouts, one of the hugest payouts ever recorded on Spotify history, bigger than actually successful recording artists. Go figure. Go figure. But obviously it backfired, and despite having a team of 20 or more staff working on the podcast for Meghan that did all the editing, did absolutely everything for her, in some instances even interviewed some of the people that appeared on her podcast, they even built her a home studio, she managed 12 episodes of one of the most boring podcasts that have ever graced the airways. The fact that when it came out it got beaten by whale noises that put people to sleep tells you absolutely everything. Sure, Spotify tried to rehash the figures and make it look like it was hugely successful, but as they've since admitted, the content wasn't really great. The consumers weren't happy. It was little more than just the Meghan Markle show, and obviously everyone was so over that before it even started. Now, while Spotify's stocks and shares have slowly been increasing since they terminated the contract with Meghan, it's like Meghan really does have the reverse Midas touch. They cut ties with her, everything starts going back to normal. She is truly really toxic for any business. Now, as we know, when Spotify cancelled their contract, Meghan did say that they were going to go to another streaming platform with, probably Archetypes season 2. Are we ready for that? Does the world need that? So it came as quite a surprise to me, however, that Audible was apparently the one that were going to sign her. The stories were coming out thick and fast that they were on the cusp of signing a multi-million-pound deal to make or break Meghan's Hollywood dreams and, of course, her dominating the podcasting world. Remember, she was going to beat Joe Rogan. It did surprise me because it's become very apparent that whatever Harry and Meghan touch, whichever company that they get involved with, that it is very toxic. As I said, reverse Midas touch, everything turns to poop rather than gold. Given the fact that the fallout from Spotify was so well publicised and we had lots of people sticking their oar into it and the couple were completely panned and trashed, which I'm sure left them both licking their wounds out of embarrassment, I found it absolutely shocking that Audible were actually thinking of signing the toxic duo. But Page 6, a reporter actually did their job and they contacted Audible, where a spokesperson said there is no truth to the report and they are not in negotiations with Markle. So clearly it is just another example of Meghan and Harry, possibly Meghan, just throwing absolutely everything at the wall and hoping that something will eventually stick. But just like all of the fashion houses, and one in particular, Meghan has yet again found that the Dior is shut yet again in her face. So, ladies and gentlemen, our ears are safe for a little bit longer. I thought you would like that good news on a Friday for you to start your weekend. So, again, I say happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll chat to you in the comments and I will see you soon. So take care for now. Bye.